strap yourselves in because we're going deep on the DJI Flip drone today.
Ooh, this one is making waves.
It is. It is. And it's pretty easy to see why.
Yeah.
Folds up nice and compact, has these unique shrouded propellers that has people calling it, quote, people safe, close quote.
Right.
We're basing this deep dive on Engadget's recent review.
Oh, cool.
So, we're talking fresh off the factory analysis.
Fresh.
Yeah.
So what's really interesting to me is that this people-safe design might be more than just like a cool feature,
Right.
Imagine the possibilities for creators.
Yeah.
If they can fly this thing closer to people in tighter spaces, even indoors, with like way fewer safety concerns.
Right.
This could be a game changer for drone cinematography.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It really makes you think about all the ways that this drone could be used.
Yeah.
That we haven't even considered yet.
Totally.
But let's zoom in on the design itself. The Engadget review compares it to a Star Wars spacecraft.
I can see that.
Which I kind of get with its foldable design.
Yeah, yeah.
But how does its size and portability actually compare to other drones on the market?
So they compare the Flip to the Hover Air X1 Pro.
Okay.
Another popular choice for creators.
Right.
And while the Flip is bulkier, it doesn't require special permits in most countries.
Interesting.
Because it's still under the weight limit.
So
for creators on the go, that's a huge advantage.
Right.
It's like a real balancing act,
Yeah.
Portability versus regulations.
For sure. For sure. That's a trade-off worth considering.
Yeah.
Speaking of trade-offs.
Yeah.
The review says that the Flip boasts a whopping 27 minutes of real-world flight time.
Okay.
Which blows the X1 Pro's 16 minutes out of the water.
Yeah.
But there's a catch, right?
You caught that, yes.
Okay.
The Flip only has 2 gigabytes of internal storage.
Oh, wow.
So you will need a memory card. Okay. It seems like DJI prioritized battery life in this model.
Yeah.
Which, makes sense for creators who need those longer takes or more flexibility on location.
Totally. It's all about priorities.
Yeah.
I think most creators would gladly, sacrifice some storage for that extra airtime.
Totally.
Now, let's talk safety features.
Okay.
The Flip boasts 3D infrared obstacle avoidance, but I remember reading something about it not being as comprehensive as other models.
You're right. The Flip's obstacle avoidance is only forward-facing, unlike the Mini 4 Pro or the X1 Pro, which have more comprehensive systems.
Yeah.
So it is a potential downside, especially for beginners who might rely on those features a lot more heavily.
Yeah.
It's like having a safety net,
right,
but only in one direction.
Yeah, I gotcha. So while the Flip might encourage creators to push the boundaries of their shots, it's a good reminder that you can't totally rely on the tech to, keep you out of trouble.
Yeah.
Speaking of pushing boundaries.
Yeah.
The review mentions a moment where a gust of wind nearly pushed the drone backward.
Oh, wow.
While the reviewer was flying it over a castle.
Yikes.
Makes you realize these things aren't invincible.
Absolutely. And it underscores the importance of being aware of your surroundings and, weather conditions, no matter how smart your drone is,
Right.
But it is fascinating, though, to think of the Flip being used inside a castle.
Yeah.
The reviewer mentioned they also flew it inside a 500-year-old house.
Wow.
The footage must be incredible.
Now that you mention footage, let's talk about the camera.
Okay.
The Flip borrows the high-quality camera from the Mini 4 Pro, right?
It does, yeah.
We're talking 4K 60 FPS video and 48-megapixel photos. That's serious firepower for a drone in this price range.
It is, and the review highlights how the Flip's camera outperforms the Neo and the Hover Air X1 Pro.
Right.
Especially in low light conditions.
It's interesting.
It even has 10-bit D-Log-M video, which, for those unfamiliar, allows for greater flexibility when color grading footage in post-production.
Right.
So this means that you're capturing a wider range of tones and detail in your shots.
Okay, so even for creators who are very particular about image quality, the Flip is a strong contender.
Yeah.
But there was a limitation mentioned in the review, right?
Yes.
Something about vertical video.
Ah, yes. You're thinking of the vertical video resolution.
Okay.
The Mini 4 Pro can shoot 4K vertical video.
Right.
Which is perfect for platforms like TikTok and Instagram Reels. But the Flip is limited to 2.7K.
Okay.
It's not a deal breaker for everyone.
Right.
But for creators focused on short-form vertical content, it is something to consider.
Gotcha. So again, it comes back to the individual needs of the creator and what they prioritize.
Absolutely.
Some might be willing to trade a bit of resolution for the Flip's other benefits.
Totally.
Now tell me about those flight modes.
Okay.
The review mentions one specifically for vloggers, right?
Yes, direction track.
Right.
It's designed to keep you in the frame while the drone flies backward.
Oh, wow.
Pretty cool, huh?
That's really cool.
Yeah.
The Flip also has other modes designed with social media in mind.
Yes.
Drone, rocket, circle, helix, and boomerang.
A lot of options.
It seems like DJI is really catering to the needs of content creators with this model.
It does, yeah.
It's almost like a flying camera crew in your pocket.
Right.
But I have to ask,
yeah,
are there any downsides to using these automated modes?
Well, that's where things get a little tricky.
Okay.
The review points out that obstacle avoidance is disabled in these modes.
Oh, okay.
It's a trade-off for the automated features.
Right.
But potentially a risky one, especially for beginners. You're essentially putting all your trust in the pre-programmed flight path.
So maybe not the best idea to use these modes in a crowded park.
Exactly.
Or around delicate objects.
Right.
It sounds like a situation where you need to be extra cautious.
Yeah.
And aware of your surroundings.
For sure.
Okay, so we've talked about safety features, flight modes, and the camera. What about maneuverability?
Okay.
How does the Flip handle compared to something like the Mini 4 Pro?
So the review states that the Flip is less agile than the Mini 4 Pro, but more stable, which makes it a good choice for novice pilots.
Yeah.
It seems like DJI has opted for stability over speed with this model, prioritizing, you know, smooth cinematic shots rather than like high-speed acrobatics.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially considering its target audience.
Yeah.
But the review did mention something peculiar about the Flip's compatibility.
Yes.
Isn't it?
And it's a bit of a head-scratcher.
Okay.
The Flip isn't compatible with DJI Goggles N3 and the Motion 3 controller.
Wow.
Even though the Chipper Neo is.
Wow. That is strange.
Yeah, it's like they're intentionally limiting the Flip's versatility.
What do you make of that?
It's possible DJI is trying to, like, differentiate the Flip as a camera drone rather than one for FPV flying, which, you know, requires those accessories. It's a niche market. But for those interested in FPV, the Flip might not be the best fit.
So it seems like DJI is trying to carve out a specific space for the Flip in the drone market. One that focuses on ease of use, safety, and high-quality filming for creators.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But maybe in doing so, they've alienated a small segment
of
potential users.
Yeah, specialization versus versatility. It's a balance that all tech companies grapple with.
For sure, for sure.
But speaking of balance, let's talk about where the Flip sits in the market price-wise.
Let's do it.
Okay, so the Flip comes in at $439. Which puts it significantly below the Mini 4 Pro. At $759. But slightly above the Hover Air X1 Pro. At $500.
Gotcha.
So it's a competitive price point. But how does its value stack up against the others?
That's where things get really interesting.
So
the Flip's longer battery life. And the fact that it's made by DJI, a very well-respected brand, might outweigh the Hover Air X1 Pro's superior obstacle avoidance and portability for some users. It really comes down to individual needs and priorities.
Absolutely.
So we've got a real battle of the drones here. Each one has its own strengths and weaknesses.
For sure.
Based on the Engadget review. What are some of the key takeaways for someone trying to decide which drone is right for them?
So, if safety, ease of use, and high-quality camera footage are at the top of your list, the Flip is a strong contender. The shrouded propellers and user-friendly features make it a great option for beginners and experienced pilots alike.
And if portability and advanced obstacle avoidance are your top priorities, the Hover Air X1 Pro might be a better fit.
It might be,
It's smaller, more agile, and has a more comprehensive obstacle avoidance system.
Exactly. It really boils down to your individual needs and preferences. But overall, the Engadget review concludes that the Flip is a solid contender in the creator drone market. Particularly for those who value safety and ease of use.
Great points.
Yeah.
It seems like DJI has really put a lot of thought into designing a drone that caters to a specific audience. And they've done a good job of highlighting its strengths.
I agree. It's innovative.
Yeah.
It's well designed, and it offers a good balance of features and performance.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how other manufacturers respond to this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a lot more of these types of drones coming out in the future.
I think so.
That focus on, user friendliness and that safety aspect.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, I think DJI is definitely like ahead of the curve.
Yeah, for sure.
With one.
Yeah, they're setting the trend, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was a great overview of the DJI Flip.
It was.
Now let's dive a little deeper.
Okay, sounds good.
Into some of the more nuanced aspects of this drone and its impact on the creator landscape.
Let's do it.
All right. So one of the things that really struck me about the Engadget review was how they talked about the Flip kind of blurring the lines between professional and amateur filmmaking.
Interesting.
Features like those automated flight modes and that 4K camera are making it easier than ever for anyone to capture professional-looking drone footage.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
And I'm curious to get your take on this.
Okay.
What do you think this means for the future of filmmaking?
So, I think it's making filmmaking more accessible.
Yeah.
Which is an exciting development.
Right.
But it also raises some interesting questions.
Okay, like what?
Well, like, what does this mean for professional filmmakers?
Right.
Who've, invested heavily in expensive equipment and training.
It's a good point. We saw something similar happen in photography.
Yeah.
When digital cameras became more affordable and accessible.
Right.
And suddenly everyone was a photographer.
Precisely. But that shift also led to a surge in creativity and innovation in photography.
Right.
New styles and techniques emerged.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have been possible before.
It makes you wonder if we'll see a similar evolution in drone filmmaking. Will these user-friendly drones spark a wave of new creative content?
I think it's definitely possible.
Yeah.
We're already seeing amazing things being done with drones in travel vlogging, real estate, even event coverage.
Yeah.
And as the technology gets even better and more affordable, I think we'll only see more creative uses emerge.
It's an exciting prospect.
Yeah.
Feels like we're on the verge of a drone revolution.
It does.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
We still have more to explore with the DJI Flip.
All right.
One thing that jumped out at me in the Engadget review was how quiet the Flip is.
Okay.
Compared to other drones.
Yeah.
They even mentioned how the DJI Neo has these tiny propellers that make a high-pitched whine.
Yeah. It's pretty noticeable.
Yeah, it's not very pleasant.
Not really, no.
So that's a crucial detail. Especially for creators filming in sound-sensitive environments.
Yeah, absolutely.
Imagine trying to capture a peaceful nature scene.
Right.
With a drone buzzing overhead like an angry bee.
Not exactly ideal, no.
No, not ideal at all. But the Flip's quiet operation opens up so many possibilities. Indoor filming, interviews, even capturing wildlife footage.
Right.
Without disturbing the animals.
It's about minimizing the impact of the technology, not just on the environment, but also on the subjects you're filming.
Right.
The Flip seems to be doing a good job on that front.
Yeah.
It's not just about the specs, but how those features translate into a more seamless and discreet filming experience.
That's a great point. It's about the whole ecosystem of using the drone, not just the drone itself.
Exactly.
And that brings me to another aspect that the review highlighted.
Okay.
The Flip's ease of use.
Yeah.
They mentioned how it's perfect for beginners. You can launch it right from your hand.
Wow.
With the push of a button.
That's a game changer.
Right.
For people who are intimidated by flying drones.
Totally.
It removes a lot of the complexity and makes the whole experience more approachable.
It's like the difference between learning to drive an automatic car.
Right.
Versus a stick shift.
Exactly.
One is just more intuitive and user-friendly.
And with the Flip's automated flight modes, even beginners can capture stunning aerial footage without years of experience. It's all about empowering creators to tell their stories in new ways.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
It's like DJI saying, you don't have to be a professional pilot to capture amazing drone shots, we've got you covered.
Exactly. It's a powerful message about making technology accessible to a wider audience.
For sure.
But of course, it's also important to remember that with great power comes great responsibility.
Of course.
Even with a user-friendly drone, like the Flip flying safely and responsibly is paramount.
Absolutely. We can't forget that drones are powerful tools and can be misused.
For sure.
Every pilot needs to educate themselves on drone regulations and best practices to ensure that they're flying safely and ethically.
Couldn't agree more. And to that point, the Engadget review does mention the limitations of the Flip's obstacle avoidance system. It's a good reminder that even with advanced safety features, pilots still need to be vigilant.
For sure.
And aware of their surroundings.
Technology can only do so much.
Right.
Ultimately, it's up to the human pilot
to
make responsible decisions and ensure everyone's safety.
Absolutely.
But going back to something we discussed earlier, I'm curious about the impact of these accessible drones on the professional filmmaking industry. While they could lead to more competition, I also see an opportunity for collaboration and growth.
I'm intrigued. How do you see that playing out?
Well, imagine professional filmmakers partnering with drone enthusiasts to capture unique perspectives and footage. That would be difficult or even impossible to get with traditional filmmaking techniques. It's about leveraging the strengths of both worlds to create something truly special.
That's a fascinating idea, kind of symbiotic relationship where both sides benefit from the exchange of knowledge and skills.
Exactly. It's about moving beyond the idea of competition and embracing the possibilities of collaboration.
I love that perspective. It reminds us that technology can bring people together and foster creativity.
For sure, for sure.
But let's not get too carried away with our utopian vision. We still need to address some practical challenges that come with more drones in our airspace.
You're right. There are legitimate concerns about privacy, safety, and the potential for misuse. Those are issues that need to be addressed. Through responsible regulation and education.
Absolutely. We need to find a balance between fostering innovation and ensuring that drone technology is used ethically and responsibly.
That's a conversation that needs to involve everyone. Drone manufacturers, policymakers, pilots, and the general public. It's a shared responsibility to ensure we harness the power of drone technology for good while mitigating the risks.
Well said. It's a complex issue with no easy answers.
For sure.
But I'm optimistic that we can find a path forward that benefits everyone.
Me too. And I think the DJI Flip is a great example of how drone technology can be used for positive change.
For sure.
Its emphasis on safety, ease of use, and creative potential is a step in the right direction.
I agree. It's an exciting time to be following the evolution of drone technology. Who knows what incredible innovations we'll see in the years to come.
And that brings us back to the question, what's next for creator drones? What features and capabilities will push the boundaries even further?
That's a question that will keep us all thinking for a while.
For a while, but for now, I think we've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
In our deep dive into the DJI Flip.
We have. What are your final thoughts on the Flip?
I think it's a game changer for creators.
Okay.
It's pushing the boundaries of what's possible in terms of safety, ease of use, and creative potential.
A good package.
It is. It is. So we're going to wrap things up there for part one of our deep dive into the DJI Flip. But be sure to join us for part two, where we'll be taking an even closer look at the Flip's camera capabilities.
Sounds good.
And exploring its potential for specific types of content creation.
Can't wait.
All right. Until then, happy flying.
See you next time. You know what strikes me about the Flip and drones like it?
What's that?
They're blurring the lines between professional and amateur filmmaking.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, features like those automated flight modes and the 4K camera make it easier than ever for, well, anyone to capture like professional looking footage.
Exactly. It's almost like filmmaking is becoming more accessible, which is an exciting development.
It is.
But it also raises some interesting questions.
Okay, yeah.
Like what does this mean for professional filmmakers?
Right, yeah.
Who've invested
heavily.
Yeah, in all this expensive equipment.
Yeah, training.
Training, exactly.
Yeah, you know, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
We saw something similar happen in photography.
Right.
When digital cameras became more affordable and accessible.
Totally.
And suddenly, everyone was a photographer.
Exactly.
Right.
But that shift also led to a surge in creativity and innovation in photography.
For sure.
You know?
Absolutely.
New styles and techniques emerge.
Right.
That wouldn't have been possible before.
Right. So it makes you wonder if we'll see like a similar evolution.
Yeah, for sure.
In drone filmmaking, right?
Definitely.
Will these user-friendly drones spark, you know, a whole wave of new creative content?
I think it's definitely possible.
Yeah.
You know, we're already seeing like amazing things being done with drones.
Like what?
In travel vlogging.
Okay.
Real estate event coverage.
Right.
Even and as the technology gets
even better.
Better, yeah, and more affordable.
More affordable, for sure.
I think we'll only see more creative uses emerge.
That's an exciting prospect.
It is.
It feels like we're on the verge of a drone revolution.
It does. It does.
Yes. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
We still have more to explore with the DJI Flip.
Yeah.
One thing that jumped out at me in the Engadget review was how quiet the Flip is.
Okay, yeah.
Compared to other drones. They even mentioned how the DJI Neo has these tiny little propellers.
Yeah, they're small.
That make like a high-pitched whine.
Yeah, it's noticeable.
It's not very pleasant.
Not really.
So that's a crucial detail.
It is.
Especially for creators.
Yeah.
Filming in sound-sensitive environments.
Absolutely.
Right.
Imagine trying to capture...
I know.
Like a peaceful nature scene.
Yeah.
With a drone, like, buzzing overhead.
Buzzing around?
Yeah, like an angry bee.
Like a swarm of bees.
Right. Not ideal.
Not ideal at all.
No.
But the Flip's quiet operation opens up so many possibilities.
Yeah.
Indoor filming, interviews, you know, even capturing like wildlife footage without disturbing the animals.
It's about minimizing the impact of the technology.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Not just on the environment, but also on the subjects that you're filming.
Yeah.
The Flip seems to be doing a good job on that front.
For sure.
It's not just about the specs, but how those features translate into like a more seamless and discreet filming experience.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's about the whole ecosystem of using the drone.
Right.
Not just the drone itself.
Exactly.
And that brings me to another aspect.
Okay.
That the review highlighted.
Yeah.
The Flip's ease of use. They mentioned how it's like perfect for beginners. You can launch it right from your hand.
Yeah.
With the push of a button.
That's a game changer.
Right.
Yeah, for people who are like intimidated by flying drones.
I know, so many people.
You know?
Yeah.
It removes a lot of that complexity and makes the whole experience more approachable.
Yeah, it's like the difference between learning to drive an automatic versus a stick shift.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, one's
just more intuitive.
Way more user-friendly.
User-friendly.
Right.
And with the Flip's automated flight modes, even beginners can capture like stunning aerial footage.
For sure.
Without like years of experience. Yeah. It's all about empowering creators.
Hey, yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
It's like DJI saying,
right,
you don't have to be a professional pilot to capture amazing drone shots.
Yeah.
We got you covered.
It's a powerful message.
Yeah.
About making technology accessible.
To everyone.
To a wider audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But of course, it's also important to remember that with great power
always
comes great responsibility.
Of course.
Even with a user-friendly drone like the Flip.
Right.
You know, flying safely and responsibly.
Yes. Paramount.
Is paramount.
We can't forget.
Yeah. That drones are powerful tools. And they can be misused.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Every pilot needs to educate themselves on drone regulations.
Right.
Best practices.
All that stuff.
To ensure that they're flying safely and ethically.
Couldn't agree more.
Right.
And to that point,
the
Engadget review does mention the limitations of the Flip's obstacle avoidance system. You know, it's a good reminder that even with advanced safety features...
Careful with all the bells and whistles.
Yeah. Pilots still need to be vigilant
right.
and aware of their surroundings.
Technology can only do so much.
Exactly.
Ultimately, it's up to the human pilot.
Right, it is.
To make, you know, responsible decisions and ensure everyone's safety.
Absolutely.
But going back to something we discussed earlier, I'm curious about the impact of these accessible drones on the professional filmmaking industry.
Yeah.
While they could lead to more competition, I also see an opportunity for collaboration and growth.
I'm intrigued.
You know,
how do you see that playing out?
I imagine professional filmmakers partnering with drone enthusiasts to capture like unique perspectives and footage that would be like difficult or even impossible to get with traditional filmmaking techniques. It's about leveraging the strengths of both worlds.
Interesting.
To create something truly special.
That's a fascinating idea. Kind of a symbiotic relationship.
Exactly.
Where both sides
benefit
from the exchange of knowledge. And skills.
It's about moving beyond that idea of competition.
Right.
And embracing the possibilities of collaboration.
I love that perspective.
Yeah.
It reminds us that technology
can bring people together.
And foster creativity.
I love that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But let's not get too carried away with our utopian vision.
Yeah.
We still need to address, you know, some practical challenges that come with more drones in our airspace.
That's a good point. There are legitimate concerns.
There are.
About privacy, safety, and the potential for misuse.
Right.
Those are issues that need to be addressed.
They do.
You know, through responsible regulation.
For sure.
And education.
Absolutely.
Right.
We need to find a balance.
We do.
Between fostering innovation and ensuring that drone technology is used ethically and responsibly.
Absolutely. It's a conversation.
Yeah, it is.
That needs to involve everyone. Drone manufacturers, policymakers, pilots, the general public.
Yeah.
It's a shared responsibility to ensure that we harness the power of drone technology for good while mitigating the risks.
Well said.
All right.
It's a complex issue.
It is.
With no easy answers.
Yeah, but I'm optimistic that we can find a path forward.
I am too.
That benefits everyone.
Yeah.
You know.
It's about finding that balance.
And I think the DJI Flip is a great example.
Yeah, it is.
Of how drone technology can be used for like positive change.
For sure.
Its emphasis on safety, ease of use, and creative potential is a step in the right direction.
It's a good package.
It is.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's an exciting time to be following the evolution of drone technology.
I know, isn't it?
Who knows what incredible innovations we'll see in the years to come.
And that brings us back to the question, what's next?
Yeah.
For creator drones.
What is next?
What features and capabilities will, you know, push the boundaries even further?
That's a question that will keep us all thinking.
For a while. But for now, I think we've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
In our deep dive into the DJI Flip.
Yeah, what are your final thoughts on the Flip?
Yeah, it certainly seems like they've really kind of struck a chord with creators who are looking for a drone that's, you know, powerful and easy to use.
Absolutely. And as we wrap up our deep dive into the DJI Flip, let's bring it all back to our listener. What are the key takeaways here for someone who's actually considering buying this drone?
Okay. Yeah, specs and features are interesting.
Right.
But the real question is, how does this translate to real-world use?
Exactly. So let's break it down.
Okay.
For starters, if you're a creator who values portability, but doesn't want to compromise on image quality, the Flip is a strong contender.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
It's much smaller than traditional camera drones.
Right.
But still boasts that impressive camera that we talked about earlier. Right, and that folding design makes it super easy to pack up and take with you.
Yeah, no need for bulky carrying cases or anything like that.
Nope, throw it in your backpack.
Exactly.
And you're good to go.
And then there's the safety aspect. Those shrouded propellers are a real game changer.
They are.
For creators who are working near people or in, you know, delicate environments.
Yeah.
It's like having that extra layer of protection.
Right.
reducing the risk of accidents.
Yeah, that peace of mind is invaluable.
Absolutely.
Especially if you're filming in crowded areas or near, fragile objects.
For sure.
Nobody wants to be responsible for a drone mishap.
Absolutely. Yeah, and for beginners, the Flip's ease of use is a huge bonus.
It is.
The automatic takeoff and landing features, along with those intuitive controls, make it, much less daunting than some of the more complex drones out there.
Yeah, it's like they managed to create a drone that's both sophisticated and approachable.
It is.
You don't have to be.
You don't need to be a tech expert or a seasoned pilot to capture amazing footage with this thing.
It's all about opening up the creative possibilities.
I love that. To a wider audience.
It's democratizing drone filmmaking in a way.
So let's be realistic.
Okay.
There are still some compromises to consider.
Yeah.
The Flip's obstacle avoidance system is limited compared to some of its competitors.
Right.
And that lack of compatibility with the DJI goggles and the motion controller could be a deal breaker for some.
It could. So it's essential to weigh those factors against your individual needs and priorities.
Right. If top of the line obstacle avoidance and FPV capabilities are, at the top of your list, the Flip might not be the best fit.
Probably not.
Yeah. If safety, ease of use, portability, and high-quality imaging are your main concerns, then the Flip is definitely a strong contender.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And at its price point,
it
offers a lot of value for creators who are, looking to step up their aerial game without breaking the bank.
Without spending a fortune.
Yeah, exactly.
Well said. So there you have it.
There it is.
Our deep dive into the DJI Flip.
Yeah.
A drone that's definitely making waves in the creator space.
For sure.
It's innovative, user-friendly, packed with features that can really elevate your footage to a whole new level.
It's a good package.
It is, as always. Yeah. It's been a fascinating exploration.
It has been, and as drone technology continues to evolve, I'm eager to see what new innovations emerge, especially in the realm of creator drones.
Me too. And that wraps up our deep dive for today.
Sounds good.
We hope you found this exploration of the DJI Flip informative and thought-provoking.
Yeah. Until next time.
Happy flying.
See you later.